Hello and welcome. We are the Untold Stories Project, and tonight we. Oh, sorry, I was getting a little echo on my side. I apologize. Um, and tonight we present a very part one of Dark Legacies, our Cthulhu Awakens limited series. Cthulhu Awakens is a new Mythos RPG powered by the Age system from our friends over at Green Onion Publishing, which is currently on Kickstarter. My name is Jonesy, and I will be your game master this evening. A quick note for those unfamiliar with the mythos. It is a horror setting, and players may encounter gore, disturbing images, unsettling content, and as well as adult language, some possibly from the players, depending on what I unleash on them. If such content isn't for you, we totally get it. We hope you decide to check out one of our other streams instead. But with that, as I mentioned, Cthulhu Awakens is a mythos-inspired RPG. The default setting is referred to as the Weird Century, which spans 1920s to now, allowing you to run everything from classic 1920s haunted houses to 60s cold war eldritch thrillers to modern-day takes on the mythos. A couple quick caveats before we meet our amazing cast tonight. Cthulhu Awakens is an active development, so rules may be slightly tweaked before the final release. There's also a chance I just may flat out get something wrong. I'll do my best to make sure that doesn't happen, but I wanted to put that caveat disclaimer out there just in case. It does use the Age system, which also powers Fantasy Age, Modern Age, Blue Rose, and The Expanse, and uses 3D6 core mechanics. So basically, players have two matching dice of one color and an odd color dice, which is commonly referred to as the stunt die. And we'll go into this a lot as we play the game, but to resolve tests, basically players roll 3d6, add their appropriate ability and any kind of bonuses they may get from focuses, talents, specializations, equipment, or anything else, and compare that result to a target number. If they beat or meet that target number and they roll doubles on a successful test, they also can trigger stunts, which we'll dig into as we play the game tonight. With that, let's go ahead and meet our cast that have gathered tonight. Players, if you could please share with the viewers your name, one or two things about you as a player, and answer a question of the day, which is, what intrigues you the most about Cthulhu Awakens? We're going to kind of work across the board, so I'm going to throw that over to Alex first.
Well, hello everybody, my name is Alex. You may know me from here at USP as the GM for Netherwar, and our upcoming Guardians of Haven series. I play Ethan over on City of Destiny. I'm also the assistant developer for Mutants and Masterminds, as well as the author of the Titan City Chronicles novels. So, all over the place you can find me. As for what I'm interested in about Cthulhu Awakens, I think the first thing that appealed to me is the Weird Century itself. I think it's fascinating that Green Onion decided to tackle a whole bunch of time periods rather than sort of the default Cthulhu time period of the 1920s, 1930s. I'd be interested to see content expanded beyond the Weird Century, just leaning into that for me personally. But I'll pass it over to Wiki.
Weird Renaissance.
Hi, I'm Wiki. You can find me here typically on the channel on Tuesdays, where I play an octopus in a mech suit. And to piggyback off of that, I'm most interested in the Eldritch horrors, the tentacly monsters, because I think those are fun, because I'm that kind of person.
And she wants to get ideas for Tuesdays?
No, you guys already call him Cthulhu enough. And I will pass it downstairs to Calvin.
Okay. Well, hey everyone, I'm Calvin, usually here on Mondays playing in the Netherwar game and all of the cool stuff that's coming up in that time slot, as well as guesting in various things on this channel. Also over on the Win with Dice channel on YouTube, where we have weekly gaming streams and weekly podcasts. A new one just went up today. That was really fun to record, so go check that out. As for what I'm excited about in this system, a couple of things. Like, I'm very interested in the concept of just like these horrors that are like these ideas and things that are like just outside of the range of human perception that are very hard to understand, and interacting with that as a player. I think that's very fun. And also getting to use the age system a bit more. I haven't really done much with it myself, but just getting to try it in different like genres and settings, I think is going to be really interesting. So I'm curious how it's going to feel versus like in playing Blue Rose last year or so. And with that, I will pass it over to Blue.
Well, hi, I'm Blue. You probably haven't seen me much on the network. I hop around occasionally for some of these one-shots or whatever. And if you were around when we were still doing it, I was on the podcast Something Something Dragons. What I'm most interested in is probably one of the most basic ones, but I'm interested in all the monsters and gods as well. I just, as much as I might sometimes be weird about monsters and horror stuff, I find the things interesting. And Eldritch Abominations are just perfect for that. Really don't have much else to say, so I'm going to pass it down to our last and final person, Brandon.
Hi, everybody. I am Brandon. You can see me on the network on Tuesdays, playing everybody's favorite bisexual disaster portal in our City of Destiny game. I would say the thing that I am most interested and intrigued by is first learning how to play an age system game. This will be my first one, but I'm also very interested in seeing what the interpretation of the mythos will be for this game. It's been around, the mythos has been around for so long that there's been different tweaks and perspectives, and I'm excited to see what this one brings to it. And I will go ahead and pass it back up to Jonesy.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for that. Very intrigued. I'm interested to see how those expectations kind of match up with what horrible things I haven't planned for your characters.
I don't like that you keep describing everything as horrible things planned for us. That's so comforting. You know?
It's Cthulhu.
It's Cthulhu, I know, but that's comforting. I am prepared to die.
We'll be fine.
There are worse things.
People are about to die. Salute you.
There
What's
are
the
worse.
worst that could happen?
There really is.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
We're fine. We're all fine here.
It's fine.
I mean, honestly, death is the best thing that could happen to us.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, awesome. So for this specific scenario, it is going to be a modern day event. As we mentioned, the word century does stretch for basically 100 years. 1920s to now, and we are going to be diving into modern mythos. It's going to, for the players, it is 2022. The one caveat is we did not have to deal with in the Cthulhu Mythos universe. We did not have to deal with 3 years of pandemic. So,
can we go there, man? I'd rather deal with that than a COVID right now.
So with that, we're going to jump on in. This evening, we find it's early evening in the city of Arkham, Massachusetts. We find our characters at a group meeting at the Langstrom Center. It opens a late Wednesday afternoon. The last remnants of winter snows have melted, but the cold chill still clings to the city. Low gray clouds hang in the sky and give it kind of a sleepy, gloomy feel. We find our group gathered in a common use room at the Langstrom Center for Health and Wellness. The room smells of day-old coffee from an old pot sitting at the side table next to a tin of very, very stale cookies. A dozen or so plastic chairs have been set up in a circle and in the center of the room, and a middle-aged man with thinning blonde hair and a set of wire-rimmed glasses sits in one of the chairs along with several other people. That man is Curtis Glass. He has been the facilitator for the group and leader discussions for the last year or so. The gathering is, all those gathered have one thing in common. They all currently suffer from night terrors, insomnia, and other sleeping disorders. As we zoom in, we find one of the gentlemen appears to be a dock worker, kind of getting ready to sit down, and Curtis kind of clears his throat with it. And thank you so much for sharing, Tyler. And he looks over to a young woman, probably in her mid to late 30s, and Melanie. I know this is your first night tonight, but would you like to share? And she kind of quietly shakes her head and says, maybe in a minute. And with that, Tyler kind of glances towards our protagonists and says, "Would any one of you like to share with the group?"
I guess I can. And a man a young man in his mid-20s stands up. He's tall, kind of lanky, light brown hair, blue eyes, got a fashionable 5 o'clock shadow, and well cut hair. He looks pretty presentable, pretty good, in that kind of somewhat casual but somewhat professional of like jeans and a button down. Stands up and says, "Hi everyone. My name's Brian Shafer. Um, I've been coming to these meetings for, I don't know, I guess about 6 months now. And I'm kind of frustrated because I don't feel like they're really helping. I'm not noticing any changes. I'm exhausted all the time. I can't put together more than 3 hours of sleep at a time. And it just sucks."
Well, have the dreams faded at all? Or are we still having the same nightmares as you've been having? Or
Yeah, I mean, no, they haven't faded. It's still the same thing. I'm being chased by something. It's never necessarily the same thing. If anything, I mean, sometimes it's, your typical bad guys, gangsters, Nazis, abusive police officers. But the really bad ones with the things, those might be getting more frequent. Those are the worst.
this is a place where you can, others that are going through similar experiences, um, if you do need to reach out at any point, we're all here for you. So even if it's late night coffee or IHOP run or something, if necessary.
Yeah, I know. And sometimes it helps just kind of talking about it and maybe not feeling like I'm the only person experiencing this. Yeah. He'll go ahead and sit down.
Well, thank you. I mean, I know that it's a lot to process and a lot to deal with. So we do appreciate you feeling comfortable enough to share with us. And anyone else wanted to share with the group?
I will. A youngish woman stands up. She has fairly long brown hair, blue eyes, kind of thin, but not, unhealthily so. Uh, Fairly attractive, but, nothing too crazy. Uh, and just kind of like clears her throat for a sec. Like, I mean, I think I have to agree that I don't feel like any nightmares are getting better here either. They're not getting worse, I want to say, but I've been coming here for a few months now. Lost count, not exactly keeping track. It just doesn't seem like it's getting much better or anything. Still the same setup, basically.
if the group wants, I can reach out to see if we can bring in more support. It sounds like that might definitely be worth something to look into if the group agrees.
Maybe. I mean, having moved in with people helped out a little. So, no. She'll sit down at that, not really wanting to continue where her train of thought was going.
Fine. So, an average looking woman stands up. She's a little under 6 feet tall. She's lean, but not like lanky or curvy. She's just sort of a boxy woman, and she's wearing jeans and a red flannel buttoned all the way up, with sort of classic desert combat boots. And she's kind of, it's hard to tell how old she is because it's clear she doesn't take great care of herself, and she doesn't like care. So like her long hair is, her hair is so brown it's almost black, and it just sort of hangs there limply, like maybe she should wash it, but can't be bothered. And hi, Quinn. You all know that. Nightmares haven't gotten better. They haven't gotten worse. They haven't changed. I don't know. I also don't think this is helping. The desert is more deserty, if that helps at all. And I don't like sleeping anymore because, well, it never feels like sleeping.
Worse than being tired.
So I don't know what talking about this is supposed to do. And then she'll sit down.
I guess after having seen her two roommates share, this other young woman who, when she stands up, she's not like extremely tall, but she's like above average height. She's got like this shoulder length, dark curly hair. Kind of seemed like she was like half falling asleep during the meeting itself, and like occasionally shifting positions in her chair to try and keep herself awake. You can see her kind of blinking and just wiping her eyes as she stands. And then she says, yeah, Francine or Fran would actually be better. And I mean, I got the same thing going on, same reason we're all here. You go to sleep and you wake up feeling just as tired. It kind of helps seeing other people with the same problem. I mean, at least I'm not awake by myself in the middle of the night. But I mean, I could use some rest. I think we all could, other than those occasional micro naps during the middle of the day, or falling asleep at the wheel, which is not something I've done, but maybe it's something that happened to someone else. Tyler, looking at you. And yeah, that's me. And then she quickly like sits back down.
Well, it definitely sounds like the group would like to bring in some more. I can some more help. I can reach out to see if we can find some other clinicians that can come and help, possibly.
Brian very pointedly looks over at the other young man sitting next to him, kind of expectantly.
Fine. Edison will stand up.
The young man who's on mute.
Speak up.
I'm ashamed.
Faces, and I'm like, I don't think he knows he's on mute.
Fine. And he stands up. Edison is kind of like a tall skeleton wrapped in a white tablecloth with shaggy brown hair and a suspicious gleam in his hungry eyes. His thin body is hidden under a very oversized green sweater, and he wears black cargo pants and Doc Martens. And his fingers are scarred from his nervous habit of chewing on them, and he always has a little bit of ink on his palms and digits. I'm Edison. I can't sleep like everybody else, and the nightmares are getting worse for me. The puppeteer is always there, and the blood keeps getting higher in the room, and nobody seems to notice or care. Sort of like you, Doc.
No? I do care. I apologize if I seem like I don't. I don't. It's not my intent.
You do. He's just being him.
We've been doing this for 6 months, and none of us have gotten any better.
Doing this for 2 years.
It's a process, right?
I've heard these things take time. I don't know.
With that, I'm actually going to ask for our first roll of the night. Will you please go ahead and make me a perception roll?
Everybody?
Yes, everyone that's in the group.
Just straight perception.
Yes.
Okay. It's not related to like seeing specifically, but just perception of all senses.
Yeah, that's the general.
I rolled a 17.
I rolled a 15, but did activate stun points.
I rolled a 13 because I don't give a shit.
I also have a 13.
I have a 17 as well.
We have like a full range. We have the 2 on the high end, 2 on the low end, and then me smack in the middle. With stunt points, I don't even know what I'm able to do here because I'm still learning the rules.
No worries. So, so with this one, I'm actually going to play a little bit with the stunt points that you've triggered. So stunt points usually trigger if you're successful on a skill or an ability test. If you roll doubles, you can trigger stunts. In this case, with Erica's roll, she did indeed trigger. She got a 5 stunt points. So, yeah.
This luck isn't going to keep up, so let's be happy we got some at the start.
So as Edison was speaking, and he started mentioning, the blood getting higher and kind of referencing his nightmare, the new girl who's joined the group, Melanie, does seem to focus intently on Edison at that moment. Like whatever, she was kind of paying attention before and kind of listening to everyone. There was that specific, his tone and inflection definitely caught her attention. Something about that just kind of, she seems to be on edge. Everyone's a little on edge because everyone's sleepy and tired and just generally cranky. But and we also have a 17 from Brandon. So Brandon, you also kind of pick up on her uneasiness. You're also picking up a little bit off the facilitator. He's a little on edge too. But it's to be expected. It's been pretty much a general like, it ain't working, Doc, kind of vibe at the meeting. So he definitely seems more frustrated, like he's trying to help, he wants to help, they just are kind of a loss. And with the 17, you're the first to notice that a little tremble in the floor and a little sloshing on a glass next to you of coffee. As you hear a slow rumble kind of start building outside.
Is it sloshing, or is it like that Jurassic Park, like?
It is. It's more of a wave, more of a ripple, a wave, not a ripple. You hear a rumbling. That's here. Sounds at first you think it's thunder. Is it light? Is it thunder going on? Is it a heavy truck moving by? As a slow rumble kind of builds through the building, and the entire building begins to shake as an earthquake kind of waves over the city of Arkham. And it's a slow building earthquake as opposed to a quick snap as the blinds begin to flitter and flake and smack against the windows. One of the windows, which is actually with the blinds pulled up to kind of let a little bit of the sunlight that's coming kind of trying to bleed through the clouds in, actually ripples from the wave of the quake. And with that, Melanie bolts to her feet, looks around, and then bolts for the door and just runs right out of the meeting room.
Erica's following. Because she doesn't like rumbling buildings. Last time that happened, something bad happened.
Which one was Melanie?
She was the new one for the night. She had just joined the group. This night was her first night.
Are there any kind of tables around?
There are several tables set up. Some of them have snacks and stuff set on them. Most of them are kind of like the folding tables that pop up.
Okay. I'm gonna yell out, get under a table or in a doorway, and I'm gonna get up underneath the table.
Quinn seems to be frozen. She's got a white knuckle grip on her chair, the seat of her chair next to her legs. And she seems to be, her breathing has seemed to increase, and she's just staring like that 100-yard stare, but like at the floor.
I mean, as I said, Erica's
and she does not move.
Fran, while probably not quick enough to keep up with Erica, if she sees Quinn in this reaction, she's gonna move over there, and I'm guessing she's maybe seen like bits and pieces of this from Quinn waking up from her nightmares. So Fran is going to try and get Quinn towards one of the tables.
I'm gonna begrudgingly get under the table with Brian.
If once I see that Fran is struggling with Quinn, I'm gonna get out from under the table and try and help.
You guys will eventually be able to peel her hands off of the chair and move her, but she's not happy about whatever's happening in her head.
Awesome. Yeah. So the rumbling goes on. It feels like forever. In reality, it's probably only 60 seconds. 60 to 90 seconds, but it just feels like forever. Because you are on the East Coast, not prone for earthquakes traditionally. And Edison, your stomach kind of flips a little bit during this entire event, because something feels wrong.
Does something feel magic wrong?
Possibly.
I don't know what to roll for. Does it feel magic wrong?
Are my magic senses tingling?
I have occultism as a focus and intelligence. but this feels more like a perception thing to me.
Yes. Go ahead and go ahead and make me another perception check. Fortunately, I would say you could add empathy to this, given that it's kind of a weird one I'm asking for. But I don't think you have that focus.
I do not, but I did roll a 14 on my perception check.
Awesome. Definitely feels, given your background and your history with certain followers of things of a pallid color, you suspect something amiss, possibly some sort of eldritch working or something taking place.
Edison's gonna sort of quietly rock back and forth underneath the table with just a blank look in his eyes.
Awesome. So after about a minute or so, the rumbling goes down. In the distance, you do hear some alarms going off from cars that were set off by the quake and the like. At this point, Curtis definitely seems a bit disheveled and a little frazzled himself. I think we should probably call it for the night.
We should look around to make sure nobody's injured.
Yeah. Where the heck is Erica and that new girl? Quinn, you okay?
Fine. Just leave me.
Edison, you all right, man?
The strings are moving.
Here, come on out from under the table. It's all right, it's over.
It's only just begun.
Well, if that's the case, you don't want to be under this table.
Why are you always so damn cryptic? What is that?
I don't know yet, but this was
Come on,
a
man.
natural occurrence. We had to find Erica.
All right, come on.
Now, sort of crawl out like a kicked puppy.
It takes Quinn a little bit of extra time to get out from under the table. And, once she gets out from under there, she's got to adjust.
Fran will wait as long as she needs, but she's like looking nervously over towards the door.
Go find her.
You sure you're good?
Okay, I'm fine. I'll catch up.
Fran, wait for me. We shouldn't be going anywhere alone. And I'll jog over to her.
All right, well, let's get going.
All right.
Okay. The two of you are able to head on out. Meanwhile, Erica, the buildings are going to shake. You proceeded to go nope and leave the building.
She didn't go far once out the building, just kind of like sitting on like sidewalk probably there.
Yeah.
Because that brought up memories.
So this facility is a couple stories tall, but it's only a couple of stories tall. It's not like a skyscraper or anything like that. It's, you were on the ground floor, so you were able to get outside. It's a rather large open parking lot next to you. There's a couple little islands in the parking lot with some small shrubbery and trees and stuff set up to kind of give it a little bit more green space vibe. And you're able to go there. Melanie, who also kind of bolted when the whole building got started shaking, made a beeline for her car and jumped in her car and took off.
I mean, normally Erica would try to stop her to ask, but right now Erica is in the so she's just balling up and trying to remember breathing exercises to calm down.
Awesome.
She's been doing much. They can find her.
Awesome. So yeah, a few minutes later, everything kind of calms down. Yeah, do you see some other people have kind of meandered outside? You do see a couple what appears to be custodians and the like, kind of quickly doing laps around the building just to check, because again, not a area of the country that's prone to earthquakes. So they're quickly doing like visual inspections of the buildings and stuff like that. The two of you are able to come outside, and within mere moments, you're able to locate Erica. She's sitting over by a tree near one of the little green spaces outside the facility.
You okay?
Perfect.
Not hurt or anything?
Physically, we're all fine.
All right. About the best we could hope for.
Everyone okay in there?
As far as we could see, did you see what happened to the new girl?
Drove off.
So she was physically okay then?
Yeah. I mean, at least until she drove off.
Yeah.
Yeah, she probably shouldn't be driving in that state, but there's nothing we can really do now. Look, how about we get Quinn and we just head back home, yeah?
Yeah.
We have to go to the library.
Art is am I the only one still inside?
Think?
Did
Edison should still be inside, I think.
Okay.
I didn't know if Edison came out or not.
So I guess it's up to Edison.
I thought we all went outside, but I'll be back with Quinn.
Where did you come from?
So
Well, when
Quinn
a mommy's
will
serial killer and a daddy's serial killer, very much.
so Quinn will look at Edison and start toward the door. She'll go, "Come on, cult boy, let's go."
Ouch.
Wow.
Reformed cult boy. Actually,
Whatever, weirdo. Come on.
I don't know why the statement reformed cult boy is just kind of funny.
and I will follow Quinn out.
Awesome. So the group of you are able to meet up outside. Yeah, and you see other people also leaving the building. A couple other people from the group. There's a couple others like Ed and Sarah and Gail, and they're all kind of like streaming out. And they're all starting to head off, jump in the cars, go home.
Once we get outside, Quinn will pull a hip flask out of her pocket and just take a big old swig from it.
Edison, you okay?
No. But I'm alive.
Quinn will, offer the hip flask towards Edison.
Alcohol is forbidden.
What do you need?
Research. I have to get to the library.
Why?
The puppet
Now?
master is moving.
Okay.
What?
Oh, God, we're doing this again. All right. Let's go to the car. Come on. And
Eric
I'll
is kind of glancing
go
at
over to
everyone.
my. We'll go over to my 20-year-old beat up Honda Civic.
Just kind of glance at the roommates. So are we following them or?
You're welcome to come if you want.
I have less than no interest in talking about monsters with the creepy kid.
He's not going to be doing much talking, though. But, you know, have you ever gotten drunk in a library?
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten drunk in Miss Katonic's library?
Maybe.
I haven't.
Well,
Fine.
pocket that flask and let's go.
Are we all gonna fit in this car?
I
I kind of
assume,
assumed we came in different.
Yeah.
if not, I assume we at least all share one. In that case, like we have at least 2 cars to this group.
Yeah, I'm kind of assuming Fran. Well, actually, I didn't put on her sheet, but she has driving skills, so I kind of figured she may have a vehicle of some sort.
Yeah, totally.
Oh no, Erica was the one who piggybacked off of all of her other crewmates'
Fran's the getaway
driving
driver.
skills, so she needs a ride.
It's something I don't know, something very uncool though. It's like a
She's
it's
the
like a
mom
PT
van.
Cruiser or something. I don't know.
Does Fran have the mom van?
Yeah,
No, I
totally.
think PT Cruiser is perfect.
It's
Whereas,
it's basically a van, but a nerdy looking one.
Whereas Brian's got the graduate assistant special.
The Civic, very old one. Yes.
You're rolling up with the most basic cars.
Awesome. So Edison seems to be under the opinion that he needs to go to the library. Seems to be very insistent about it. And the rest of you are being drug along. It sounds like you've agreed to.
Apparently.
I know how Edison can be when he has to do research. So,
I mean, if earthquakes aren't common around here, and last time I dealt with shakes, bad things happened. I'm at least a little curious about what Colt Boy's talking about, and worst comes to worst, I wasted a few hours. I'm not doing anything with them, so I'm coming around on their free will. But I really need Fran for the ride, so.
I mean, it's either that or heading back home, and I don't know if it'll make a difference what we do. We can either go home and be bored, or we can go to the library and.
you could go home and try to sleep.
Oh, screw you.
You're hilarious.
You can't sleep
Rude.
now. It's too dangerous to go to sleep now.
I mean, don't tell me you don't want to know what that means.
That just sounds like a Minecraft message, let's be honest.
We can't
I mean-
travel. There's enemies nearby.
No, Brian is very purposely trying to find, you know, emotional, non-monetary ways to bribe the 3 ladies to come with them because he does not want to be stuck in a library alone with Edison when he is in this mood.
You have Erica in. It's just how monotone or happy are you getting her?
Are we going? Or are we just gonna stand in the parking lot?
Let's
No,
go.
we're going.
So with that, yeah, you hop in your cars and head on over to the campus part of town.
Now, Brian will get a nice spot actually near the library because he has, you know, a graduate assistant parking sticker.
Oh no.
God only knows where the ladies will end up parking.
At her
Forgot
house.
about university
Back.
parking.
It'll be quicker if we just park here and walk.
Yeah.
I want to stop at the house anyway.
Yeah, we can make a stop there first.
Sure. Does the library have
She's
any
gonna pick
band?
up her 3 other flasks.
Get the Sour Patch. Let's go.
So with that, yeah, so to kind of give you an idea, campus is kind of in the center of the southern part of the city, and the house that you are currently renting out is in the French Hill area, which is not far from campus at all. It is one of the older parts of town, so it's not inconceivable that you could park to your house and hoof it to the campus area. More than a few of the students do that live off campus. The state of Arkham nowadays is that campus is two local colleges are the primary reason that anyone is in Arkham. The Arkham itself has seen better days, depressed economy. A lot of people moved up to Boston after the 70s and everything. So Arkham itself is definitely a city on the decline. So
what is the city's policy?
The city, sorry, what was
Is there open carry in this?
Probably not on campus.
Yeah, there's not open carry.
Okay.
Now, there's a university in Texas where that would fly.
How about a concealed carry? Really wants her gun.
If you don't get caught, you don't get caught, right?
Anything's legal so long you don't get caught.
Cool.
Fran's just gonna pick up her camera while they're at home.
The library has detectors for stolen books, not for firearms.
Not for firearms. Well, we'll find out.
I mean, they would.
Oh, well, you two are getting normal things, and Erica's like, all right, where are the Sour Patch? Where's the candy stash?
I'm not sure that you're putting on your gun is a normal thing to do after an earthquake.
That's actually very fair, but it's more like accurate for your person thing, and then it's just not candy. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, after that earthquake in California in, what was it, 94? I'm sure lots of people put on their guns.
I kind of assumed Quinn was doing this like subtly or secretly.
Oh yeah, no, she goes to her room and you don't see her again for 10-15 minutes. She comes back and she's got a little ditty bag. And the other thing you will note, because when we got out of the car and walked into the house, you would have noted that she was limping a little more than usual. So when she comes back down, she's only wearing one of her boots because she has switched into her running blade, which is more comfortable for her. But she doesn't wear it that often because she doesn't like to be stared at. Okay, let's go.
Go.
You two got everything?
I'm literally just bringing snacks, so I think we're good.
Okay.
So those three have stopped by the house that they currently rent. The other two of you have made it to campus. You parked easily. It is a Wednesday evening, so the university is busy, but not excessively busy. There's not a lot of late classes on Wednesday. A lot of late classes are on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So there's not a lot of people on campus, and those who are on campus are pretty much off in the rooms studying in common areas, or in the student union getting food, or have slipped off campus to go to the nearby bars. So
right. Edison, so what are we looking up? What are we looking for?
Brian, you need to do your usual helpful thing, and I need you to go find anything you can about prophecies or earthquakes or anyone wearing yellow.
Okay, prophecies, earthquakes, yellow. Got it. And I will hop on one of the computers nearby to check out the card catalog and do my graduate student research thing.
Awesome. So for that, I would like you to make me a roll. It is going to be an intelligence check. You do have skills that would, you do have a talent that will aid you with this research.
Yep. And I've also got the research focus.
So go ahead and make me a research check specifically.
Okay. Will anthropology or psychology be appropriate here or relevant?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Anthropology. Because I'm specifically asking you about like prophecies, things like that. So.
So +1 to the total is a 21, and I have 6 stunt points. Wow. So
Awesome.
wow. I'm guessing look at general stunts. Let's see here.
So you're going to check the stunt list real quick. While he's doing that, Alex, what are you doing?
I am also going to be researching, but I'm going to go do it in my weird culty way, where I go to the section with the weird books and just hold my hand up and feel what feels relevant.
And make me a test.
Yeah, what
awesome. An intelligence test. If you got research, you can also use the research focus.
Awesome. And I also have expertise research, and if it's related to occultism or history, that's one of my bookworm benefits as well.
Yes.
So is that a total +2 bonus per talents?
No, you get +2 for the focus, and then you also get the additional plus for the research. So.
Okay, cool. So research. I got a 17 total with 2 stunt points generated.
Awesome.
All right. So for my stunt points, I'm gonna spend 5 on good fortune. At some point before the end of the encounter, a particular kind of NPC you choose appears on the scene. The GM determines their identity, abilities, attitude, and situation. So we'll run into someone helpful in the library. And then the remaining one, I'm just going to use to boost so that I gain +1 to the next test I make related to this one before the end of the encounter.
Awesome.
And then, yeah, got a 21.
And Jonesy, for my 2 stunt points, if it's allowable, I would like to trigger the flashback stunt.
Okay.
This reminds you of something important that could help your investigation. The GM reveals a new lead drawn from your history during or before your character started play. If you find that source, you've considered to have tangential investigation focus.
Awesome. So.
Research bros.
We built some characters to read the Latin.
I want to read
must
the
not
book.
read from the book.
Don't read the book.
So with that, you two are deeply in full on investigation mode, and are referencing and cross-referencing different books and the like as you're digging through it. The other 3 of you, having stopped by the house, picked up some snacks, picked up some firearms, have made your way to the library, found the parking area, and are able to park. And eventually make your way in the library. And I say that because the other 2 tests for Edison and Brian are going to take a little longer because it's actual research tests. So the turnaround time is a little longer. So you were able to meander through the library and eventually find the stacks where they're currently hanging out. And as you look over, they have a table that's already covered with a big pile of books.
Edison has his eyes rolled up in the back of his head, just a hand facing some of the bookshelves.
And you do notice that one of the library staff is just kind of like walks by, and as soon as they see Edison, lets out and the shoulder's going to slump, and just kind of walks off.
I did bad math. I got a 22, not a 21.
Oh.
In case it's relevant, I don't.
In case I needed a higher number.
Yeah, in case there happened to be like a cutoff at that point.
So,
Jonesy, when I hear that guy huff, I'm going to say, Grant, it's not polite to shrug.
He'll just keep going.
Yes, Grant, I know. I'm sorry.
Edison may have a reputation at the library of being the guy who leaves all the books, stacks and stacks of books out.
Yep, doesn't clean up after himself.
I work at the library. I'm the one who has to clean it up anyway.
So, with that, you've spent several hours, spend an hour and a half or so, 2 hours digging through books.
So while
And,
they're
what was that, Blue?
sorry, while they're doing some of this, since I'm not gonna be of help, can I just get some read on like people around here right now? Since you know there was just a random earthquake.
Certainly.
I'm not sure exactly what to roll here, but
it's okay. I will help you on this.
yay! Because I'm just like, well, there was just a weird thing that happened. I wonder how everyone here looks.
Oh, everyone's a deep one. We missed that.
I didn't. I just didn't care.
So I'm going to need you to make me a perception empathy roll.
I don't have those. I'm good at talking to people, but apparently not reading them. Let's see what we rolled. So we got a total of 11, but we do get 4 stunt points.
So as you start kind of like, and focusing on this one, the one particular gentleman who's wearing a Miskatonic University t-shirt, and he's kind of pushing a cart around full of books. You get a wave of disdain and dislike from him coming off this guy. And it hits you like a ton of bricks. It's not so much, before you used to pick up on, you can pick up people's, guess people's moods and stuff. You're pretty good at reading people. But this was almost as if you felt what he is feeling.
That seems perfectly normal.
Yeah, no, that's daily life for you. Does that help me figure out who he's annoyed at?
Oh yeah, he doesn't like Edison. His name is Grant, and he does not like Edison at all.
I realized. I was about to be like, is it Grant? Is it?
It makes you feel better. Edison doesn't like Edison either.
And I would also ask for you to make me a willpower test.
Oh, that's fun.
I mean, I tolerate Edison.
So willpower is one of the abilities, and I'm asking that you make a
I only inspire others. I can't get myself a plus against any willpower related tests because I can't inspire myself. That's a 13.
Awesome. So yeah, you're able to you're like, instead it kind of hits you like a ton of bricks at first. You're like, kind of like, whoa. And as you do, as you kind of do that, you can also kind of look over at your allies and kind of see that Quinn is very on edge. And you kind of can pick up on the actual emotions that your friends are giving off.
That's new.
Which is actually very new.
Yeah. Not what we're gonna talk about yet. Just gonna eat some Sour Patch and kind of be like, so what did you do to that poor library staff that made him seem like he doesn't like Edison so much? That's all the comment is just like, what did you do to him?
Don't pay any mind to Grant. He's inconsequential. Don't know me while I'm researching.
Edison, we've talked about talking about people like that. This is why Grant never does you any favors at work.
No one will remember Grant's name in 1,000 years.
So you're
I'm
When
gonna-
you say stuff like that.
Quint's gonna wander off away from this table, find a quiet corner, sit down.
Hey, what's Quinn's favorite snack?
Booze.
Not throwing Quinn booze.
I'm fine, I got my own.
Yeah, I know that.
I
Gonna just toss you a snack, but
don't know, she'll eat whatever food people put in front of her.
you get a pack of Sour Patch thrown at you.
Thanks. She's just gonna wander off and have a seat. She'll every now and then take a drink from her flask, get really bored, and start to fall asleep.
Awesome. So you're kind of find a quiet place and kind of working a little bit on that. And as you're going through, the two of you are doing research, as you're pulling up the books and stuff, you do not find any references to a prophecy. You do find references to earthquakes, and you were able to compare some earthquakes. And because you're in the restricted section, Edison, I will actually even give you. You find some rough references to certain things that burrow through the earth that can cause great quakes. It doesn't feel quite right to you, and you don't find anything that kind of points to certain entities in yellow. You do find references that certain eldritch workings might have secondary effects that might trigger, unnatural occurrences, such as unnatural storms, strange tides, or earthquakes.
I'll go over to Eddie and say, Edison, strike out on prophecies and yellow people. But here, something about magical side effects. Is that what you're looking for?
Maybe. Jonesy, are there any workings in particular that Brian's able to find?
There nothing specific that like matches exactly. You definitely feel like you need to know more about what like something else to help kind of cross-reference, because it's kind of the opening question at this point. And with that, almost as if on cue, you see a short brunette girl kind of walk into that section of the library. She's about 5 foot tall, hair pulled back in a loose ponytail, wearing kind of a flowy dress, a light shirt, despite the chill outside, and has a kind of hoodie, but it's kind of actually off and tied around her waist. The hoodie seems to be some sort of sun-bleached color.
Sun bleached like yellow?
May have been yellow on point.
Have I seen her here before?
You have not.
God, the weird kid's going to attack some random lady.
This is why we are existing in the same presence, because it's like
As she gets a little closer, you know she's got a little silver necklace on, a little ankh on her chain, and she has got one brown eye and one blue eye.
She's an anime protagonist.
Can one of you who is good at small talk go and engage with her?
Why?
Figure out
Why?
why she's here.
I'll go.
I will go up to her.
I'll come with. I like talking to people.
So with that, Erica and Brian kind of start approaching her. She starts looking. She just kind of walks in the room. She starts looking down to the row of books, and looks over the stack of some of the ones that you have, and kind of reaches over and grabs one of them, and kind of flips through it. Oh, they shouldn't let this one sit out.
Oh no, we're currently in the midst of research.
This is definitely not one that should be in your hands. And she looks over at Edison.
Why?
Well,
Which book is it?
You just know it as R37. It doesn't have a title on it.
Is it one I picked out, or is it one Edison picked out?
It is one you actually picked out, Brandon.
Okay. Well, I mean, don't know what to tell you about that. I practically live in this library, so.
And I work in this library. I've never seen you here before.
Be nice.
I want to get a read on her.
I don't think you notice most anyone who walks around this library. Your nose is too stuffed in the books.
Well, there was a weird thing when I last tried to get a read on people, but sure, can I try to get a read on her?
Certainly.
Mm-hmm. Is that a perception for you?
I'm just sitting there with a half grin because I don't think I've ever seen Edison, talked into silence before.
He's making Muppet face.
Yeah.
Yeah, should I roll a perception? Or
I'm actually going to need a willpower check from you.
willpower? Okay. That's fine.
That's fine, right?
It'll be fine. No, it will not be. Well, I have a 9. I have 1 stunt point.
Unfortunately, that was not successful.
Yeah, I guessed with a 9.
I have a weird question, Jonesy.
I have a weird answer.
Does she look like any of the blank-faced people in my nightmare?
She does not.
That's good news.
Are there any other, like, maybe smaller details about her physical appearance that I can pick up on? Like anything that seems... I mean, I don't know if I have anything that's like really looks like insight, but I can pick up on more like physical stuff maybe, or if she seems like she's hiding something on her, or if she is looking at any of the other books to also take them out of our research pile.
Sure. Go ahead and make me a perception check. You can use the seeing focus if you have it.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Ooh. Oh, well, 14.
You do know that she does have you do spot she's got some boots that are about calf high, come up mid calf, and she does have a knife tucked in that boot, in one of her boots.
Okay.
So, I'm guessing you're in a fluff because of, well, things moving today.
If you mean by that the earthquake that just happened on the East Coast, yeah, that's got us a little freaked out. And he likes to read when he's freaked out.
Why, do you know something about what happened?
I know things happen. Things happen all the time. It's not the first earthquake ever to strike the East Coast. We should know that. It was only 3.
Yeah, but it's not exactly common.
It's only 3.7. And
you have a seismograph somewhere?
no, but it's on the news since then. Do you have a cell phone?
Typical. Can I take that book that she took from me back?
Yeah, so she just picked it up off the stack that was sitting there, so she's still holding it. You can reach out and try to grab it from her.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to snatch it from her.
And snag it out of her hand.
Please.
Well, aren't you just Mr. Chivalry?
If you know something that's of use to us, spit it out. If not, quit bandying words with me.
Be nice.
I know of your family, let's say. And I know that they were involved in this.
Important clarification. They were or were not involved?
We're not.
Okay.
As I say, I thought I heard were.
I thought I heard were too, and I was like,
I apologize for that. GM, apologize for that. No,
cool.
they were not involved in this.
They're not involved in much anymore.
For now. They will again at some point, I'm sure.
If you know they were not involved, do you know who was involved?
Edison, it was an earthquake.
No, it was a
Tectonic plates were involved.
It was a consequence of people tampering with things they should not tamper with.
Going down that rabbit hole again.
Fran will perk up and say, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't think we caught your name.
That is correct.
Man, I'm glad I'm sleeping.
Actually,
You're being super suspicious.
So what is your name?
I go by many, but
that's not ominous.
Could you give us one?
sure. Jess.
Well, Jess, it's an experience to meet you.
I like your necklace.
Well, thank you.
Does it mean anything, or is it just for style?
Oh, it's a little trinket I picked up at one of the local shops. But I know you're worried. She's looking directly at Edison at this point. That things are moving. Things are constantly moving. You should know that by now. But this is a little bit more of a slow burn sort of situation, from what I've gathered.
Are you saying this is going to happen again?
Please don't fuel him. He's going to be insufferable for the next week as it is.
We are dealing with the end of the world, Brian.
Yes, I know. The world's been ending for what? 2.5 years now?
I think technically for the last 10,000 years, but yes.
You're one of those people who celebrates a birthday saying 1 year closer to death, aren't you?
Yes, he is. Except for one correction. He doesn't say that for his birthday, he says that for yours.
Why would you celebrate being born? It wasn't a choice you made.
Oh, I've told myself that a bit, but
Anyway, I shouldn't keep you from your books. She's looking around your books, but we'll see how this plays out the next few nights. But I wouldn't expect any, rains of blood or, strange tides. So
What should we expect? Yeah.
it is.
Ah.
I mean, I'm sure Edison picked up that it was something unnatural, but not that potent.
How are you sleeping at night?
Me? And she kind of like points to herself. Me?
Yes, you.
I sleep like a baby.
lucky.
Must be nice.
You've had a good night's sleep. I haven't had that in months. Just that,
Yeah, I mean, you sure sound like you know something about something. If you want to tell us, I mean, come on, we can chat. I'm sure we can pull up an extra chair. I don't think Grant will mind.
So, while she's kind of like bantering and being around the bush and being, generally annoying.
Yeah. We realized that much.
Quinn has actually managed to fall asleep.
Oh no.
I'm sure this is fine.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And as you're quietly nodding off over by another quiet stack of books, you kind of sorry, the typical dream kicks in. You're back in the desert, back when you were serving in the military, dealing with all that kind of the sand, the dust, and as that's going on, it begins to shift ever so slightly on you. And you sink into the sands in your dream.
Nope.
And as you do, things kind of fade to black for a second, and then you're in a long hallway carved out of rough stone. And as you're kind of walking along, you see bits of bone and scattered across the floor of the stone, roughly carved stone passageway. And as you look back, you hear something kind of grunting and groaning and snarling. As you're kind of making your way down, every once in a while, there's a faint light from a small little torch lighting the passageway. And as you look back, you see a set of luminous yellow eyes following you. And it's slowly following you and starts speeding up and starts speeding up and starts speeding up. And as it, you're trying to make your way down the hallway and trying to run, get away from it. And as you turn the corner, you see what appears to be a thin and gaunt person that's been stretched slightly. So the arms and legs seem to be extended slightly, oversized hands with claws, yellowish, luminous eyes that are the size of like 50 cent pieces. Their skin's kind of taut and pulled back on their features, revealing very much jagged teeth. And as you see this, you immediately go to strike at this creature. And as you do, your hand comes slashing down across its face. And as you do, you realize your hand also has those same claw-like appendages. And you snap awake and you're in the library. And to the right of you on the ground, on the wooden floor, there are claw marks into the ground. And I'm going to ask for our very first alienation test. So,
Cool.
So in Cthulhu Awakens, the unnatural and unusual effects that can happen from encountering people, places, and things on the mythos is called alienation. And basically, the more you're exposed to these things, the more you become in tune with them and less in tune with the world as you know it. Basically, alienating you from the rest of what the mundanes would experience. So to do this, I'm going to ask that you make me a willpower check. And,
okay.
And and if you have if you have any focuses, depending on what the source is of the alienations, you would then determine which focus to apply to that. I don't believe you have any willpower focuses, so
No.
And for your case, it will just be a standard willpower test.
Darn. If you were awake, I could inspire you, but no.
Just think about those snacks.
Oh no. I feel like there's a snake eyes over there.
Sorry. I'm sorry, I just rolled a 6.
Oh!
Awesome.
With 2 stunt points.
Unfortunately, that stunt points will not help you in this case because you did not succeed. So.
This is making fun. Oh boy.
So now, the nice thing is in Cthulhu Awakens, there are some caps the GM can put in about how much alienation you can encounter in one night and from what sources and stuff like that. So, you don't necessarily, one encounter won't just basically burn you through everything and then you've lost it. So in this case, because you did fail, you're actually going to get a special sort of bond, which is called an Enlightenment and Terror bond. So in this case, it is going to match the type of alienation that you've encountered. So since this was, we're going to put this under phenomena, which is basically, you encountered something weird, you saw a gate, you saw a book, you read the mythoses, that kind of stuff. And this is a new mechanic for Cthulhu Awakens. So basically, you're gonna have a new level 1 bond for alienation. So we can add that to your sheet once it comes up. So that will allow, but in the bonuses, that sometimes alienation can also be used to trigger enlightenment and as well as terror. And so there are things that can occur that you might get glimpses into things that might help you and also might hinder your character.
So I should add that as a phenomena bond?
Yes.
Phenomena.
That was my exact
Phenomena.
Phenomena.
So, and for roll 20, since we're using roll 20 with this, I was putting those, if you hadn't noticed, I put all your background, all your bonds and stuff on the second tab. The one
under relationships.
Yeah, under relationships, just because it was a good place to put it for reference. So, with that, Quinn does wake up with a start. I will leave it up to you whether that is just a silent, like, jump, or
no,
if that is...
there's actually a scream that comes with it.
Brian immediately drops the conversation.
Yeah. The roommates are like, that's good. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll be back for you. And
We'll
then
be back later. Let's go.
So with that, Fran and Erica immediately make their way over to the roommate. What does Brian and Edison do? Do they also make their way to the roommate, or do you
I'm
stay?
running towards the screaming.
Okay.
I'm not letting this chick out of my sight.
And she, as the screen goes off and they all take off, she'll look directly at you, Edison, and goes, "That wasn't me, just to be clear."
You didn't do anything.
I'm just here mainly to screw with you because, well, lots of people don't like you and they like to have you screwed with. So, but
You're here on behalf of people or something else?
I'm here on behalf of myself. But I just know that there's some people meddling around with stuff they shouldn't be in town, and so I generally don't want to get involved, but I figured, hey, you already like to meddle with stuff, so maybe I can point you to them.
Well, get to pointing. Quit playing this game with me.
I believe someone was targeting your friends.
You mean the
Which of your
Nightingales?
friends I don't know. But I believe someone was targeting some of your friends specifically.
Joke's on you. Edison doesn't have any friends.
I don't think almost any of us are friends. We're just friendlier acquaintances.
Trauma survivors.
Trauma
Um,
survivors.
if you know who is messing with them, tell me and I'll handle it.
Don't know. That's the thing, is it's none of the usual players. It's obviously someone who's dabbling in stuff they don't understand. Or else you wouldn't be on high alert today.
There was a new lady at therapy this afternoon. Maybe she knows more than she's letting on.
Might be worth following up on. But
I guess I'll go get the muggles.
with that, she'll just kind of tilt her head and kind of smile at you. I don't know why they want to sacrifice you. You're so adorable. Then she walks off.
That was the best 5 stunt points I've ever spent.
I wanted
that
Edison to help us.
Spent.
That too.
NPC who can help us just spends her entire time making fun of us.
I mean,
No,
seen
making fun of
us.
Edison.
Making fun of Edison.
I'm gonna go get my friends.
So, meanwhile, over in the side aisle of books, we have one Quinn, looking a little worse for wear after a slight nightmare, and
So she would have shot up out of her chair when that happened. Her first instinct would have been to reach for her hip and then realize that it's in her bag, which is probably a good thing. And then she will have just been standing there staring at her hands. That's probably the point where they came around the corner.
Quinn, everything all right?
No.
Fran
Okay.
moves to take one of her hands.
Are you physically okay?
I don't know.
Nightmare?
And the hip flask comes out again. And she'll just point at the markings on the floor.
You get attacked by an animal or something?
I think I did that.
Did
Oh.
that? That's
I'm gonna go and play and run interference with
Grant.
with Grant, who is inevitably coming to inspect that noise.
Okay.
Fuck Grant.
yeah, thank you.
Good call.
Good call.
Once I see the damage, I'm just like,
Hey, Grant, buddy. Why don't we go the other way?
What do you mean you did that? Were you asleep or something?
Yes. No, I don't know. And I will explain the dream, or at least the bits of it that I remember.
So I just completely drew a blank. Sorry, what are the markings on the floor again?
Some claw marks. Actually, looks like someone gouged the gouged the floor with either a knife or claws or something
Okay.
sharp and pointy.
So how could you have done that? Like, I'm not doubting your strength. I just don't think it would have been. Do you have claws?
Not usually.
Not
Maybe-
usually is not a comforting answer.
Maybe it was there before you fell asleep and your brain just absorbed it into some dream or something. There's probably a reasonable explanation here that's not werewolfism or whatever.
I didn't even think about being a werewolf.
I look from around the stacks. Lycanthropy.
See that? Yeah, that's the word.
Who's a lycanthrope?
No one? You think? I mean, wouldn't you have to be full moon?
I'm gonna reach into my cargo pants and pull out a silver spoon and pass it around to everybody.
Just
You just walk around with this?
yeah.
You can never be sure when a lycanthrope is going to attack you.
What are you going to do with a
It's
spoon?
Edison,
Are you
of
strong
course
enough
he
to
walks
hurt
around
someone
with
with a spoon?
No, it burns them to the touch.
Okay.
A spoon is dull. It'll hurt more.
I do not like how much sense that makes.
And Erica, you definitely are getting waves of just stress off of Quinn. Like you full on are feeling this of what she can feel.
It's
Yeah, that's-
verging on panic.
That's weird. That's weird. That definitely is gonna change her expression just slightly of just that's not often how feel when friends are anxious. Okay. But not commenting on all the weirdness surrounding her right now, because there's more weirdness about floor markings. Does the spoon burn you at least? Not?
I just take the spoon and throw it back at Edison. Stupid spoon.
I'll take that as a no.
No, spoon does nothing.
She's not
Oh,
allergic. She's just grumpy.
It does leave a little red mark on Edison's forehead.
I bruise very easily.
Everything's fine, Grant. It was just she fell asleep. She had a nightmare. She's okay.
So with that, was there anything else that you wanted to accomplish at the library?
Apparently covering up these marks on the floor.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we could move the chair over it, or I don't know if we could move the table or anything. Just like
Stack some books on top of it.
It will eventually be found, but long after you guys have gone, and no one will really be able to pin it on you. So
Do they actually look new? Like, you
Oh.
know how marks on a
Yeah.
floor. What kind of floor is it? Is it wood? Is it?
It's wood. Yeah.
Because you know how marks on a floor,
Yeah.
when they've been there, people walk over them.
There'll be dirt.
They kind of, they
yeah.
kind of wear in.
Mhm.
These are fresh.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Is there
Just
something weird
kind
about
of
them?
Smudge them with your foot.
Other than them being new?
Yeah, they spell out "I love you." M plus A
But
or
I love your heart raw with a little salt.
No, it's like we committed cover it up, make it look like something like a lovers did idiotically.
No. Is there anything weird about them?
I mean, other than the fact that they're there, no, nothing,
Yeah,
nothing unusual as far as like they're not bleeding or anything like that. No.
They're on the floor, right?
Yes.
Are they in the same general area as Quinn's running blade?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I get the impression she kicked these into the ground?
Now that you mention it, that's a possibility. Yeah, that's something that you can see that happening. Depending on the sort of nightmare she was having, she was twisting and turning a lot. That's a possibility.
Our new friend, Jess, seems to think that somebody's targeting you all.
Who?
Jess,
the snarky one.
The one.
Oh, Quid, you didn't meet her.
You weren't here, but
Yeah, this other girl showed up, seemed to know Eddie here,
Edison.
and was just Edison, and was just being really mysterious and ominous, and apparently targeting us.
what do you
Someone
think?
is.
She thinks that the nightmares that we're all experiencing are some sort of magical effect.
From
Oh, cool. So she's one of you. Because that's what we need.
I mean, I'm sorry, let's review. We all are having nightmares. We all started having them, I think, at different times. Why would we all be targeted?
What would the nightmares even have to do with anything?
There are creatures that feed on the terror of the subconscious mind.
I think mine's just PTSD.
I've just got depression and anxiety, Edison.
I think it's worth following up with that Melanie lady who was there tonight.
If she comes back.
Let's go find her.
How are we going to find someone who came to one meeting that we have no context with that instantly drove off?
We could call that useless doctor and ask him if she signed an affidavit.
Because the doctor's just gonna give over identifying information of a patient?
I sure as shit hope not.
Especially to us. All? Like, that's a little weird. I don't think any of us asking it makes sense.
We might have to catch her at the next meeting, assuming she comes.
Assuming she comes.
We might not have that kind of time.
I mean, what are you suggesting, Edison? We break into the doctor's office and steal the paperwork to find out who this Melanie is?
Why would you say that?
Edison will
You
just
know
sort of,
how
like,
he is,
shrug
why
his
would
shoulders
you?
and be like, yeah, that's what I'm suggesting.
Why would you say that? Now you have given him a plan.
Because let's be honest, I didn't put it into his mind. We know he was thinking it.
I got a better plan. Let's find this Jess chick and punch her in the face.
No.
I've got a better plan. How about we just go to the pub and grab some dinner and
I like that without the
relax.
dinner, but I like this plan.
No, you need to eat.
It's, we just went through an earthquake. That's a traumatic experience.
Plus all
Yeah,
the
sure.
experiences we have under our belts.
Yeah, let's get some actual food in you guys, not just candy.
Okay, well, I'm sorry.
booze.
Next time I'll pack a 5-course meal.
No, understandable, but
All right, food
That's-
first.
that's-
Once we have our energy up, then we'll break into the place.
All right.
We're not breaking in.
Awesome.
Let's go to Joy's.
all right. Before
They've got good burgers at Joy's.
I've heard their wings are pretty good.
We have a disaster squad right here.
before we head off, Fran is gonna just take a quick picture of those claw marks just in case to have
Awesome.
for reference.
Awesome. No, totally
Before we
awesome.
head off, I'm gonna put away a few of the many books they got out just so that Grant dude doesn't kill them the next time they come in.
And with that, the group of you quickly throw some books back on the shelves. You kind of move one of the chairs to kind of block some of the damage that was done to the floor. And you head on out. You're heading out of the guards. At this point, as night has fallen on the city, what's left of the day has kind of quickly burned away. I'm going to ask for a perception seeing test from Fran.
You got it.
And your cool talent will kick in as well.
Oh, groovy.
You
So
don't want to
that'll
succeed, you're gonna have a bad time.
well, that's what makes it groovy. So that'll be a +1 and reroll on failed ability test. So here comes the roll. And with a +1, that is 19 with 5 stunt points.
Awesome. As you go outside, it is night out, and you look over at your friends as they're getting ready to head to the car. Brian's eyes have gone jet black. Brian, as you walk outside, you can easily see everything around campus. You can see the cars. You can see the parking lot. Everything's nice and well lit up, and you didn't even really you had to do a double take on your watch to see what time it was because
They must have changed the lights. Oh, okay. Good. It was getting kind of worrisome how gloomy they were letting this area get at night.
Trying to think of a stunt that applies to this, but first Fran's gonna say, Brian, you all right?
But yeah, I'm fine.
Are you absolutely sure?
Yeah.
And his eyes are just like looking the same, like unchanged.
Correct.
Like,
Are you alright, Fran?
yeah, just hang on a minute. I just want to commemorate this moment real quick with a picture. If you guys don't mind.
Sure.
I don't like to
Oh.
be photographed.
What?
Okay, well, I mean, Ed, you could just like stand on this. Edison, you could just stand on the side if you don't mind. I just think we should celebrate us getting through that traumatic experience of the earthquake today and coming together to do something, like researching at a library and going to a pub.
Oh. Okay.
And Fran, the terrible liar, is going to try and it's
So do I-
like it doesn't seem like anyone else is reacting to this eyes situation, so she is going to try to take a picture to see if it's just her or if this is actually real.
So, like, we don't need to make a check to figure out Fran something's up, or
Yeah.
I mean, something's clearly up.
yeah, it's like
Ah.
that.
What it is I don't know if it's very clear.
It's not clear, but it is definitely you're not lying well.
Not at all. I don't know if I can. Well, it's on an investigation check, so I can't really apply breakthrough here.
I mean, I live with Edison, so my tolerance for weird behavior is pretty high.
Banking on that.
I know when something's up.
So
I'm
Quinn
just kind of going with it.
And when you look at your photo, Gwen is flipping you off.
Nah, she's
uh,
composed. She was a YouTuber.
Fran, when you did that, did you snap it with the flash on or off?
Let's say on.
Yeah, you quickly check the photo, and it's just it's a digital camera, and yeah, everything looks normal. And the group of you load into the car, and Brian, you're kind of blinking a little bit after that. Bright light kind of thing.
Oh,
definitely
wow.
killed your night vision. And with that, you head on off to go grab some food. I think this might be a great time for us to take our quick break.
Yay!
Before we go to break, Star Slayer did redeem a hydrate. If everybody has a drink they want to take.
I did that already.
I'll drink air.
I will get a drink as soon as we go on break.
Yeah. Like I'll drink first thing we do when we get back on air. You'll see we come on air. Until then.
Awesome.
Well, you didn't hydrate, so you dihydrate.
I will
That is
dihydrate.
true.
We're all doomed.